Welcome to the Invisible Cabaret Podcast. We're a cabaret troupe that focuses solely on stripping away the stigma surrounding mental health through variety entertainment, ranging from ballet and burlesque through to song and spoken word and everything in between. During the pandemic, we've been working off stage to produce our podcast, taking the time to catch up with our friends and colleagues to talk about mental health, performance, and the relationship between the two. If you're a creative who's got a story or two to share and would like to appear on our podcast, please do get in touch. We would absolutely love to hear from you. But today, we're talking with our wonderful troupe member, the fantastic, beautiful, littlest Petit, Pois!
Hooray!
It's so wonderful to have you. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Good.
As always, we are also joined by the wonderful Rosie Verbose.
Hello, no surprises there.
How are you doing?
Who, me? I'm all right. I'm just, here plodding along, having a nice time, chatting over Zoom with my buds. Happy days.
Great.
Awesome.
Do you know, I can never hear plodding along without, I'm pretty sure it's from a Disney movie, and it's a song that goes plodding along at the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. Is that from a movie?
It's absolutely from a movie. Little Shazam me for Disney. I'm a Disney Shazam. It's Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, but it's actually bobbing along. So we've
I've not seen that one.
We've remixed. Have you not
I've
seen
never
it?
seen it either.
No, it's on the list because it's one of the
Oh boy.
their classic ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I bet it will look
Naughty.
really dated now because it's Angela Lansbury, who is obviously, she just doesn't age. She's
No,
an
of course
icon
not.
and a queen. But the animation will probably look bizarre. But it is very charming because it's all these hand-drawn
Okay.
characters in the real world. So they're interacting in a way that was probably very cutting edge at the time. It's just, we're knocking on a little bit now.
Don't say that.
Oh, not us. I mean, like society. Soz.
Okay.
So we're spring chickens, obviously.
We are bobbing along, absolutely not plodding along.
No, God, no.
No, God forbid. But yes, so it's bobbing. Thank you for the clarification.
It was
I
so
always thought it was
welcome.
plodding, even though I've never even seen the movie. I just know that song because it's.
Well, why
jaunty.
would
I don't
you?
know.
Why would you know any different? That makes sense.
I think it sounds much more jaunty.
It does.
Yeah.
Plodding sounds
Ros, when
heavy,
you're-
like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ros, when you're having a bit of a difficult day and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just plodding along, don't say that anymore. Change it to bobbing. Oh, I'm just bobbing along.
That's such beautiful, self-psychology. I love it.
Yeah.
All about the self-help
Don't
techniques.
think of yourself as plodding. I am bobbing.
I am bobbing.
As if I am
I
weightless.
am one with the
floating in a
waves.
sea. Oh, good. So we are joined by Rosie Verbose and myself, Ferrero Rochelle, and the lovely Petit Pois. So shall we just dive right in?
Dive straight in.
Well, I just want to paint a word picture for the listeners, given that our podcasts are indeed on YouTube, but they're the audio version. So you just get a little waveform now, which means you can't see Petit Pois in all her glory. Even though it's just a sound recording, we have... She's beautiful as always, would look beautiful in a bin bag, but dolled up with the curls and the eye makeup. We've got a lighting setup. We've got a glorious microphone in the middle. We've got a kind of cascade of different characters. Who shall she become behind her? And then this kind of wardrobe situation. It's glorious.
Wardrobe.
I'm just sorry you guys can't see it, but hopefully that will give you a bit of an idea to be going on with.
Yeah. And I came up with something the other day when I was thinking about how we should begin with Petit Pois. I was thinking, really, Petit Pois doesn't say enough about Shayla, and that perhaps it should be Petit Oignon. Onion? What's onion in French?
Yeah, onion, yeah.
Because there are many layers to Shayla.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I see. God, that was really slow of me.
not because you look like a little onion, but because there are
No.
lots of layers to you, like in Shrek, you know?
Yes.
So,
Sure.
Petit parfait. Et pas le parfait.
Petit parfait. Everybody loves parfait. That's it. Just many, many layers. So you've got Shayla the burlesque. You've got Shayla the environmentalist, absolute, staunch vegan. You've got Shayla the feminist. Then you've got Shayla the actor. Then you've got Shayla the ukulele player. Shayla the singer. It's never ending. And it's very impressive.
Oh, thank you. I like that.
How are you feeling about not performing at the moment, Shay, or having your performance kind of career a little bit sidelined?
Well, it's like an unwanted gap year, really, isn't it?
It is.
An unprepared, unwanted gap year where you can't actually do anything anyway. You're sort of housebound. I mean, at first it was okay. But obviously it's really longed out now, so it's quite underwhelming. Yeah, I realised that what I'm lacking in my life is that adrenaline rush of performing, that pump, that buzz, if you like. And I realised, gosh, I have not had that feeling with anything in my life since my last performance way back in March or whenever lockdown started. And I was like, oh, yeah, that feeling is just non-existent, and I don't really know how to get that feeling now.
Of course.
There's not many other avenues to get it.
Yeah.
So it's been quite saddening, really.
Yeah, because even with the online stuff that people have been doing, and I mean, you've done a couple of online shows, haven't you, Shay?
Yeah.
It's not, the interaction just isn't, it's just not the same,
It's not the same, no. It's just different. It's an interesting new avenue to go down for sure, and I think it's something that will probably stick around even afterwards, because people who can't come out, it's a great thing for them. And you can also, in a way, be a bit more creative because you can pre-record, elements and things like that. But it's not the same as having a live audience.
Have you always been a performer, Shay? Has that always been in your bloodstream?
Yeah, definitely. Drama, all that stuff, always been there. It was something I never contemplated going down when I was sort of leaving college. I think I got it in my head that I needed something quite realistic or practical, or something that was going to be, sort of more permanent. And then I thought, actually, if I don't try, I'll never know. So
Amen.
Let's just give it a go, because I'd rather try and fail than be 40, 50 and go, what would have been, what could have been.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it. Exactly the same thought process.
You don't want the regrets, do you, if you can avoid them?
No.
Absolutely.
So your brother is also a performer, a burlesque performer.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, aerial and circus and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So were you from a very creative household? Did you as a kid, were you performing together, or has it been something that sort of evolved gradually?
We definitely played dress up together and things like that.
Yeah, great.
So I think it's always been something that's definitely been in our blood or something like that. But no, yeah, he definitely got into the acting and stuff way before I did and was much more hot on it. And I sort of, with the cabaret, it was something that when I was doing acting and trying to get into drama school, I thought I want to do a little something different that's creative on the side, maybe a dance class or something. And he said, you should just take a cabaret class because it's great. And I thought, yeah, go on then. And then I was like, why have I not been doing this the whole time? So, yeah, that's basically what happened. And then the rest is history.
So it's Danny. Danny was the gateway.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny.
To be honest, he's my inspiration for a lot of things. I adore my brother no end. Yeah, he means the world to me.
He's a good dude. He's also an incredibly talented performer.
Very, very.
If you haven't been introduced to the wonderful world of Danny Ash, you really need to get on it. He's quite the performer.
Yeah. Words escape me for the kind of things I've seen Danny Ash do. I don't want to give away too much. It's pretty spellbinding. It's a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah.
And you both really do have a knack for kind of creating characters, on stage, like real personas that you totally buy into. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, Shay, because obviously you're a trained actor and you trained at Mount View, and then a lot of your burlesque work is very character based. You have all kinds of characters in your repertoire. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about the kind of the role that character work plays in your burlesque style, and how did it come about? Was it something that just happened organically, or did you know that you wanted to, make a concerted effort to get character work into your burlesque? How did it happen?
I think I'm very into storytelling. So, burlesque and cabaret has many layers, and I think sometimes it's all about getting from A to B. Your clothes are on, then potentially they're off. But I really like having a story of how we get there, and I suppose that's where the character comes in. I'm like, who is this character? Why are they taking their clothes off? Are they just doing it for the sake of it? Or is there an actual reason that they would? So I always go down that avenue. I think that's why character and story go together so well. And often why I choose characters that people will connect to because they're very familiar. Instantly you're like, I know who this person is, but I don't know where it's going to go. Which is what's so great about Danny Zuko and Trunchbull and things like that, because I really recognise this person, but not like this. Like, this is different.
Yeah, this is new to me.
And that's what's really exciting about it.
Yeah.
And putting spins on it.
Which you are absolutely masterful at. So if you have seen Petit Pois in our show, it's a very different sort of vibe to your other work, really, isn't it, Shay? And it will be interesting to see where we can develop it and whether we can sort of synergize some of the kind of more familiar characters into the Invisible Cabaret world and way of doing things. But so you've got your Trunchbull act, and then you also mentioned Danny Zuko.
Yes.
And again, many people probably wouldn't be able to imagine that if they hadn't seen it. So Ferrero Rochelle has seen this in person. I've only seen the wonders of it via video.
Sure.
Ferrero Rochelle, what's it like to see Danny Zuko in person, and what are your burning questions?
Well, the main thing I'd say is it's clearly so well rehearsed and so well researched. Like, everything about it is just flowing, and you've just got the character completely nailed. And I know I've spoken to you before about the research that goes into it to getting that character, because when you watch it, you don't think, oh, you're watching someone playing Danny Zuko. You think, oh my God, it's Danny Zuko and he's taking his clothes off, which is so impressive because you're a tiny, petite, womanly woman. And to get that in Danny Zuko is so impressive.
Genius.
And I know that you've had a lot of quite surprising reactions to Danny Zuko, haven't you?
Very.
Yeah. So what has the kind of audience feedback been?
So mixed, and a lovely mix in a way. So depending where I play, if I'm playing to London audiences, obviously it's all round people losing their shit. A bit of confusion, I think, mostly from men, being like, wait, what? I don't get it. What? And especially in suburban areas, men are very keep themselves at a distance because they enjoy it, but they're just not really quite sure what to make of me. I think drag queens they're much more mainstream now, whereas drag kings, it's kind of like, why would a woman want to dress as a guy? Like, whereas, of course, guys would want to dress as women because they're beautiful and gorgeous and things like that. So that's been really interesting. But my main thing that I get a lot from women is people just fancy me. Just get so many women saying, I literally have the hots for you. Like, I am in love with you.
Damn right.
And I'm just like, wow. I mean, I pull better as a bloke than I do a girl. I mean, this is cool. So, I quite enjoy it, to be fair. And I just play it up. I love it.
Amazing.
It is really great. It's really great. And there's audience interaction as well. And it's so lovely to see when you're in the audience because you have all these people who are near the stage. Normally, when someone gets asked for audience interaction, normally people are quite hesitant, but I've definitely seen a number of people be like, me, pick me, Danny. It's so funny. Yeah, you look around and everyone's like, yeah, go on, come pick me, and then you don't.
That's so funny because every time, when I'm on the side of the stage, every time I perform him, I'm like, why am I doing audience participation? Why am I doing that? This is such a bad idea. No one's going to come. Why am I doing this? And I'm trying to scout for who I think's going to be up for it. And I'm like, no, they're not going to be up for it. Oh gosh, I'm just going to have to wing it. This is going to go wrong. And then it's only afterwards that I'm like, oh no, yeah, that's quite good doing audience participation. But before, I'm just absolutely dreading it. It's the worst thing about the act because I just don't know how it's going to go.
And obviously you've got timing for different moves and stuff, so you need to have someone up on stage by a particular point in the music, and if they're not there, then it throws it all off. So I
haven't
totally
yet had to dance alone, but I've had a few rejections. But
Even as Danny
it is.
Zuko, just proves it, doesn't it? That's,
I know, it's not for everyone.
even a sex icon is not immune.
But that is kind of why I did it, though. I think when I create new acts, I like to do something that scares me or something that is out of my comfort zone. I find something it's kind of weird. I find things comforting that are uncomfortable. So with Danny, with the first time I did Burlesque, the uncomfortable thing was taking my clothes off because I was like, that's horrifying. I can't do that. And then with Danny, it was coming out as a bloke and obviously audience participation.
Yeah, double whammy.
Yeah, with Trunchbull, I don't wear any makeup and my hair is pulled right back. So I feel totally exposed with my face. And then in the Invisible Cabaret act, being naked but in an emotional way rather than... Because I don't know, when you're sort of naked as a burlesque artist, you can sort of make your body look beautiful. But with Invisible Cabaret, I was going to be naked but, slumped over and not looking appealing, which was really scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
I enjoy those things
Which we knew was going to be scary, didn't we, as well, when we did it. We were like, I remember having the initial conversation with you being like, this is going to be really brave and are we up for this?
But no, it's totally worth it in the end. Totally worth it.
Good. Yeah, I can't remember if the current iteration of the piece still involves you doing a full walk across the stage.
I think it might be a shorter walk.
I remember when we initially were rehearsing the act, it was a full walk across the stage of you with eye contact and you almost entirely naked walking across the stage looking really vulnerable.
Yeah.
This is the Miracle Act, which is what we call it for listeners who have not seen it. The only reason we would not have seen it is if you've not been to one of our shows, because Miracle has been in every single one of our shows.
Amazing.
It's been in every one.
Yay.
So yeah, Miracle is the longest running act. I mean, how do you feel about that, Shay?
I mean, I guess it means it must be good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Or I'm running out of ideas and I need to get a new idea. But no, I mean, I love
not the
it.
case.
I'm not bored of it and I do love it and I love that people connect to it still.
It's made people cry, actually. We've had people come up to us afterwards and say that one really got me,
Yeah.
And some people find it uncomfortable as well. Especially a couple of blokes that I've spoken to have been like, I don't feel comfortable watching someone that vulnerable, which again is it's interesting how it brings out different things in people.
Yeah.
Should we talk a little bit about creating that act as well? Because obviously that's your cabaret stuff is incredible and lauded amongst the cabaret community, and then the Invisible Cabaret is like the soft underbelly, I feel, of what you create. So
oh, what a lovely image. Little soft underbelly.
So can we go back to the creation of that act? If you can remember that long ago, Shay, because it was a while ago. How did it come about, actually? Did you have the song that you wanted to work with first, or?
No, I think I had the speech, the Darren Brown speech.
The speech, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Because I remember hearing that when I watched the show he did, and it made me cry the first time I heard it because it was so... It wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like pushing positivity in a way that's like, just be happy and everything's going to be fine. It was just very much like, no, this is the facts. Like, this is the way it is. And I don't know, it was just a totally different way at looking at how things could be good. Very
much so. And also without God as well, because that's kind of what he's trying to debunk too. And that's not shade, because like I'm a faithy person, but I still find the speech incredibly moving because it's talking all about how the odds of you being you are so tiny, and it kind of makes you think, gosh, even without kind of the idea of a creator, I still matter. I still have this kind of like incredible, unique opportunity.
Yeah.
Basically, isn't it? That's kind of what he's going for.
Yeah.
And then, so you found the music to work with it, or?
Gosh, this is going back.
Because you've been a Dodie fan, haven't you, for a long time? And so there's some Dodie in there.
Yeah, love Dodie. Yeah, a lot of her work is surrounding mental health in itself, so it kind of seemed like a perfect pairing there. But yeah, I just remember wanting to be like, it to reflect my mental health journey as well as being an anecdote for other people to take from it. And I think with me, it's all about the struggles of getting out of bed or resorting to your bed when things get too much. And that's still my life now some of the time. When things are too much, I just want to sleep. I just don't want to face the world or see the world. But equally, what is in the act is I will try and distract myself as much as possible. I will try and suck as much fun from everything I can until it runs out, which again is reflected in the act. This is a great distraction and I'm going to relish this moment because it is a good moment. But then it means I'm going to put that bad stuff in a box for a bit until eventually you have to look at that box of crap and go, oh yeah, that needs looking at.
On that note, Shay, can we just backtrack a second? Would you mind giving the storyline for anyone who hasn't seen it?
So the storyline is I'm essentially start out in bed. I have a sheet covering me on the stage. And it's about me coming away from those sheets, coming out of bed. And it has lots of upbeat music and I'm pulling out positive quotes from my pillow that are going to get me through the day, throwing them up in the air, dancing until eventually I run out of positive quotes and I resort to my bed again, basically. And then it essentially finishes with a friend being there to help me get dressed and face the day and how that is enough, that's okay. That's the big achievement. That's the big confetti moment, is putting your clothes on.
So it's a reverse strip with incredible heart, isn't it? And we've had different group members play that friend as well, which is lovely. So Ferrero, you've done that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. And that, literally, just hearing you talk about it just gave me goosebumps there, Shay, because I feel like when you come on stage as the friend, it gives us a connection, because I've never dressed someone other than, I've worked as a nanny, so I've dressed children because they don't know how to put their own clothes on. But dressing a fellow adult, there's something incredibly emotional about that.
Intimate.
It's very raw, so intimate, so intimate. Possibly more so than helping you take your clothes off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Helping you get dressed. It feels almost like an invasion of your privacy, but as, you have welcomed me and allowed me to do it and we're doing it together. Yeah, it's quite a strong bonding experience.
For sure.
It's a lovely piece. It really is a lovely piece.
I do love it. I'm very fond of it.
I also think that whenever someone watches that act, they take it a completely different way. It means something different
So
to
different, yeah.
each and every person. Some people it's because they identify with that struggle to get out of bed. Some people it's because they identify with losing energy, like going 100 miles an hour all day every day and then running out of energy and feeling like a failure. Some people it's that they identify with needing someone to help them or wanting someone to help them, or the other way around, knowing someone who is struggling and wanting to be that helper. It affects everybody in so many different ways. It's an incredibly powerful and also a very clever piece. So well done, Shay.
Well, thanks. You guys were both there to shape it as well. So I have to thank you guys for it as well.
I can't wait to see what else we make together.
Well, this is it. We've got this long-running, wonderful, beautiful piece. But there's so much more to you. You're the onion, the petit onion.
Parfait.
Petit parfait, sorry.
Petit parfait.
What else would you like to explore, Shay? Have you got stuff, without too many spoilers, what's bubbling under that parfait surface?
So I've sort of got an idea that I want to do around shame. For some reason, whenever I hear great speeches, I seem to get prompted with ideas, but I heard a great speech about shame. We're brought up to feel very shameful about a lot of things and how that's massively triggering to mental health and how we can get rid of that or retrain ourselves not to be ashamed of ourselves. So that's an avenue I'm looking to go down, I think.
I can already think of pop culture references for that. I'm thinking Cersei. In Game of Thrones, the bell.
Yes, so
and I'm
true.
thinking, have you ever seen the cartoon Big Mouth? There's a Dementor character voiced by David Thewlis, who is Professor Lupin in the Harry Potter films.
Okay.
So all of the fun there. But he's called the Shame Wizard. And he appears during puberty, and it's so on the nose. I'll try and send you a clip. It's brilliant.
Definitely.
This sounds great.
I could talk about shame all damn day. Raised in evangelical Christianity, I know a thing or two about shame.
You can give me loads of tips then, great.
All my shame knowledge. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think so.
It's exciting.
And obviously I do want to bring drag to the cabaret, so that is on the table.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how exciting. And you'll also be able to bring a lot of new costumes and pieces to the cabaret, because during lockdown, you've learnt to sew.
Getting there, slowly but surely.
What a project. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I thought if I'm going to be stuck in a house for 6 months, I ought to do something. So I was like, what are my lockdown challenges going to be? One was to learn the splits, which is, again, it's slow, but it's getting there.
Nice.
And the second was to learn to sew. So I bought a sewing machine, which sat in a corner for 2 weeks. And I just stared out and was like, just getting started. It's so much effort. Like, you know, when you're like, I just want to know how to use you. I want to look at you and just know how to sew. But I'm going to have to read an instruction manual. It's going to be so slow and...
yeah, you need to learn by montage, don't you, like in the Rocky films?
Yeah, wouldn't that be fantastic? Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. With a really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I'm just going to do it bit by bit. Like day one, I'm going to learn how to set up the machine. And then I thought, what do I want to make? And I've sort of started to make burlesque opera gloves.
Gloves? Difficult.
I went in the deep end, which I probably shouldn't have done. There were definitely days where I wanted to chuck it out the window because it wasn't going well at all. I don't make life easy for myself. I can see myself slowly improving. So
That's great.
Oh, that's great. That is really great. Towards the end of our podcast, at the end, we normally discuss things we're grateful for this week. We're very grateful to have you on the podcast. It's been a joy. But what are you grateful for this week, Petit Pois?
I'm grateful for people, like having people that are in my life, because I think it can get quite lonely, and I think I make it hard on myself that I really try to isolate myself, and I think I forget that there are people there. And this week, like my friends and boyfriend and family have been there, and I think it's very easy to forget that. So I'm grateful for people's presences. Yeah, sounds maybe a bit vague, but
No, that's fine. No, absolutely.
I think we all know what you mean there, especially when you get in your head. It's very easy to kind of think, no, I can't possibly let anyone in.
yeah.
We all relate to that.
Yeah. Similarly, I mean, the thing I'm grateful for this week is I'm grateful for my friends, and I feel like I've spoken about my friends before, but just a collective group of them, because these past few weeks have been quite difficult for me in terms of work. I'm basically not working at all, so I'm having to look for more work, and I could have quite easily got myself into a little bit of a funk about it, but instead I planned quite a few things to do, and I planned to see quite a few people. One of them, the lovely Rosie Verbose, and we had a lunch date in a park, and it was absolutely delightful.
First time since lockdown.
It was pretty gorge. Although we did get attacked by pigeons a lot. And wasps. It was very
Actually,
aggressive.
it was quite harrowing when you put it like that.
And what did you say? It was like we were in a Hitchcock movie.
Oh wow.
It was quite traumatic, but it was lovely. I've spent a week, I'm now feeling incredibly tired and like I could do with a week in bed, just because I've been socialising a lot, but it's been wonderful. So I'm incredibly grateful for my friends, all of them who are listening. You know who you are. It's been a lovely week, a very tiring week. It could have been a terrible week, but it wasn't, because I saw my lovely friends and my parents. So grateful for my friends and my parents. Rosie Verbose, what are you grateful for this week?
Oh, no, well, very awkward, because I was going to say something similar in terms of friendlings for the benefit of the listeners. I am one of the few troupe members who doesn't live in London, and I have finally sort of ventured citywards, which has been something I've wanted to do for ages but have been very cautious about. I live with my parents who are both in the at-risk category, so I've had to be very circumspect about how much travelling I've been doing. I think the big thing is I conquered my major anxiety about it, because my anxiety had a field day. I think so many people have been in the boat where Corona has made them way more anxious. And I know I've been one of those people. So I think I'm just grateful for, in that moment, having the capacity to face a bit of a fear in a cautious and safe way.
Brilliant.
What I think is really gorgeous is that all three of us are grateful for human connection in some way, and being able to to see people and speak with people. And I think if you actually boil that down, just 3 women not having spoken to each other before about what they're grateful for, all being grateful for human connection, that's something pretty special and pretty beautiful.
That's really lovely. Oh, what a nice way of wrapping that up. We've had a couple of people say things that they're grateful for on the Invisible Cabaret Instagram, which is normally where we ask people about their gratitudes. So if you have something that you're grateful for, then you can tell us anytime you like on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. You can DM us, but then also keep an eye out for our little shout outs, which we do on recording days. So we've had one from Pupin de Verre, the marvellous performer. She says that she is grateful for living near the sea.
Gorgeous.
Also from Georgia. Georgia says that she's grateful for her husband. Another human connection there to be grateful for.
Aww.
Lovely stuff.
We also have my lovely boyfriend Matthew,
who
is our sound editor for the podcasts. He has something he's very grateful for. Yesterday, he was asked to be the best man for his best friend from childhood, and he was quite emotional about it. It was a very exciting day, and they asked him on a personalised Guinness glass because Matt likes to drink a lot of Guinness. So shout out to Sam and Sophie. Firstly, congratulations on your engagement.
Congratulations, Sam and Sophie.
And thank you very much for asking the lovely Matthew to be your best man, because he is overwhelmed and incredibly grateful. We've also had a gratitude message via voice recording, which is very exciting. So here is a thought of the week from across the pond.
This is Andrew in San Francisco, California. I am so grateful for the birds who've come to my porch, even on a smoky day.
What a seriously lovely message to get from you, Andrew. Thank you so much for getting in contact. And it's just so great to hear that you're being so positive in these really difficult and uncertain times, and we hope you're keeping safe out there. So thank you again. And if any other listeners would like to send in your voice recordings, you can do so from the Anchor website. We'll pop the link that you can follow in the description below. Alternatively, you can send us a voice message over Instagram, just like Andrew did.
Shay, we are so grateful that you've taken the time out to be on the podcast. And I mean, we've said this to a few people, but we mean it, and we do mean it for everybody. We'd love for you to come back and talk some more, because we've barely scratched the surface of your parfait layers.
We'd love to. It's been lovely. Thank you for having me.
A pleasure. Do you have anything you'd like to plug lastly, Shay? Is there anything you want to give a little shout out to? Anything coming up?
No, just, follow me on Instagram. That's it.
That's not just it. Following you on Instagram is a pleasure.
A treat and a delight.
And anybody should be excited to be doing so.
Brilliant.
So.
Yes. Fine. I demand you follow me on Instagram.
Good. That's what we like. So we will tag Shay, but just for listeners, what is your handle, my love?
It is at Petit Pois Burlesque.
So you'll feel very French as you type it all in.
Think of me when you get your frozen peas in Tesco's.
I always do.
It's free advertising. I'm not complaining.
I pick them up and they say Petit Pois. I'm like, oh, Shayla. It's pretty great. Yeah.
Genius. And we'll be sharing some stuff of Petit Pois in the coming weeks as well, so you can get a full sense of the range. And also the Miracle Act, I believe, is definitely on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's on our Instagram as well. So we'll share that again too.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Shayla. Thank you, Ferrero, for your time as always.
Not at all. It's been a pleasure to be here as always. And thank you, Rosie Verbose, for being here.
Well, thank you for thanking me for thanking you.
Thanking everybody.
Guys, if you want to get in touch with us, please do. If you've got a story you'd like to pitch us for being on the podcast, or if you'd just like to say something you're grateful for, just search us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're not on LinkedIn. Maybe we should be on LinkedIn. No, I don't think that would be a good idea.
That's one too many.
Yeah, it is. It really is. All right, so just those places then. We'll see you all very soon. Lots of love. Stay creative.
Bye.
Stay kind to yourself. Bye.